What's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. We are going to be talking to Amanda, and as you can see, or I'll tell you, the title of the show today is Funny Imperfections Equal Perfect Marketing. And I am excited to hear her stories about this. I've done this as well over the years, and oftentimes when I've made a mistake or I've spelled something wrong, or I gave the link didn't work, for example, in one of my emails or something, it would cause this sort of frenzy of people wanting to tell me that it was broke or wasn't working, and just created a lot of engagement and interest in what I was doing. So amongst her story and how she got to where she's at now, we're going to be talking about some of her kind of cool, profitable mistakes that she's made. With that being said, Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
Hey, you're so very welcome. Where are you calling in from?
Michigan. I'm in Western
What
Michigan
part of
right
Michigan?
now. The
Western
west
Michigan.
side. Yeah,
Okay.
west side of
That's actually
Michigan.
a state I'm not sure that I've ever been to.
Um,
So I'll have to make it up there at some point. Maybe hop in Detroit or whatever, and say hello to you folks up there. So tell me a little bit about your background in a nutshell, and what led you online and eventually to Legendary.
so I have always done kind of like direct care for people who have had brain injuries. And so once, kind of COVID hit, I had gotten pregnant with my oldest. I had decided, I kind of want to stay home more. I want to, have more flexibility in my job, especially, being a brand new mom.
Mm,
So I feel like what everybody does when they first start trying to find like an online business, and I just Googled how to make money online.
mm,
And that turned up zero results that were actually legit, which I feel like a lot of people might have experience with. So I was just on TikTok at the beginning of, like March 2020 when the lockdowns first happened. And I had found like drop shipping, and I was like, oh, okay, like I'll give that a try. And as many people on this show before have said, it's not, not that lucrative. It takes a lot. So then I found a couple of creators on
mm.
TikTok after kind of like doing my own manifestation of like, I just need to give this a shot. Like, I know I can do it. Like, I have the power and the capability and everything to do this. I had found a few other creators, and
Mm-hmm.
one of them had posted a TikTok like, hey, reach out to me on Instagram if you have more questions. And so I was like, okay, I'm taking that as a sign to reach out to somebody. And he actually was like, hey, my 2:30 meeting canceled today. Do you want to do a Zoom call? Like, I can tell you more about, like what this online thing is. And I was like, heck yeah. Like, let's
Wow.
try it out. Fully expecting it to be like, like, hey, you need to sign up under me and you need to recruit people and you need to do all of this stuff. And he was like, nope, this is what I do. This is how it works. If you want more information, here's a link. And then I got sent to Legendary,
Mm.
and the rest is kind of
Wow.
history, clearly.
Wow, that's interesting. That really makes me think about the different calls to action that sometimes we can give people in our content. I talked about this quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. It doesn't always have to be link in the bio, click the link in the bio. Sometimes that gets kind of old, or it's said a lot. I think especially with affiliate marketers on like TikTok and Instagram and so forth, because you only have you have less time to give a call to action, so it's easy just to go link in bio.
Yeah.
But to actually give somebody an invitation, hey, direct message me, shoot me a message, and I'm happy to answer your questions, or to give them a specific call to action to direct message me what your goal is this year, and I'll tell you if that's realistic. There's so many unique and creative calls to action that you can give somebody to send you a direct message. And what you're saying this guy did at that point was actually offered to jump on a Zoom call with you,
Yeah.
which I'm sure for you, that made it all feel very legitimate. You much felt make you felt feel much more safer to move forward versus feeling like there's no real human beings to talk to, and you're kind of, taking a chance walking through a door that you don't know what's on the other side. You felt a lot more safe to move forward after that interaction. Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely having like that more personable, you know, being able to ask questions, whether that be on a live or a Zoom call or things like that,
Mhm.
definitely felt more inviting, is
Yeah.
how I would put it. I definitely felt more invited into, instead of getting like a generic message through like Facebook
Right.
Messenger or, a DM in my Instagram of being like, hey, this is a great opportunity. Here's all the benefits. Here's a link.
Yeah.
So since then, that's what I have sort of integrated into my content as a call to action. So I put on, my videos, or in the first comment on my videos on TikTok and Instagram, like, hey, send me a DM if you have questions. Like if you're ready to get started, send me a DM. The link in my bio actually has a phone number that is linked to my phone, so people can actually like text me.
Yeah.
I'm like, send me a text. Like I respond as fast as I can. Like I want
Right.
you to know that I'm a real person. I
Yeah.
want you to, feel comfortable reaching out to me. Like I don't want to be known as like, oh, she's just on here to promote. She's just
Yeah.
on here to do this. Like I
Yeah.
want to, like, no, I want to help. I want to help.
Right. I've done that a couple of times in my career, is both given out my phone number, and then what I then ended up doing was getting a phone that was just for texting business stuff only, right? So if at a certain point you get too many messages, or you are feeling like, well, I don't want to give out my personal number, going down there and adding an additional phone to your plan, and in an older generation iPhone or something like that, you don't have to have just something that has texting, is a really cheap option. And I think, people having nowadays, people having that ability to be able to get a hold of you in ways that are familiar to them, versus ways, you want to go to people versus trying to get them to change their habits to come to you. So I like that a lot. As a matter of fact, we've got a text message list that all of you who are listening can send a simple text right now, the letters WUL, to that number that's on the screen, 813-296-8553, and we'll actually send you a text message. I just got mine every morning, and we'll link right to we'll actually give you a link that you can click right in your phone right to the show. So speaking of text messaging,
Yeah,
so
send me that.
you found Legendary and you went through our challenge. Tell us what that
Yes.
was like.
Oh, it was great, honestly. So I had never actually taken an online like training, like where it was just like specifically about, how to build a business online. And then, so the first day was great. Like your first video, I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And then I scheduled, I think, my business plan advisor call like the next morning. And I talked with my business plan advisor, and I was like, this is what, like, honestly, this is great. Like, this training, it breaks it down. Like, I am still working full time. I have two toddlers. Like, and if I can do this in like 30, 45 minutes a day and actually learn really good information and skills that I can apply to an online, business, this is absolutely wonderful. So the
Yeah.
training is great. I learned so much even from just the like first 15 days.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure my business plan advisor would log on to his emails in the morning and go, "Oh man, there she is again," because I would send like 4 or 5 emails overnight while I was doing
Oh
the
dear.
training. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he would be like, like Michael was my business plan advisor, and he was great. He answered every single question. So like just having that, like, I kind of made him hold my hand. And that's what I tell, some people when they're like, "Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing." I'm like, you've got me, you'll have this personal business plan advisor who will answer all of your questions. And I was like, what do you have to lose at this point? Like there's
Mm.
two people right here, right now, who are ready to guide you. Plus, you get access to a wonderful community of people. I think I've asked 100 questions in both groups that I'm a part of for Legendary, and also, just having the ability to reach out to people and have that community connection to get help instead of, having to wait 3 or 4 days for a response from somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we want to provide the same experience that we were talking about, which is that human interaction to help people feel safer to move forward and also to give them a more personalized experience, because cookie cutter doesn't work, and as much as we want to automate things and love automation, still one person, one marketer, one entrepreneur helping another is still the fastest way to success. And it's the right information from the right people in the right environment. I've always believed is the right formula. And so now you're a part of that. And the coolest thing to me is when that process comes full circle and the student then becomes the teacher. And that's the case right now. And congratulations for being here. So you're on the show because you've gotten results, because you went through training and you applied it. And so talk to us a little bit about what's happened since you've started implementing and taking action. What are some of the results that you've got, and what are you most excited about?
So most recently, and also the title of this Wake Up Legendary, is that I've gotten over 1 million views by just doing some math wrong. And I didn't do it on purpose. I'm actually not super great at math. But I had seen your wake up, one of the Wake Up Legendaries, where you had said that somebody had said 5RR instead of fiver. So I had started to kind of like implement like these weird things into my videos. Like I would spell something wrong, or I even did like the 5RR thing with like the speech that like talks over the text, or like it'll read the text on TikTok.
Yeah.
I wasn't seeing like crazy, like I would get like, a couple 100,000 views, whatever, not a big deal. And then I did math wrong, where instead of, multiplying by like 52 weeks out of the year, I ended up only doing 48. And I posted it right before I went to bed, because that's, one of the best times for me to post is at around 10:30 p.m. And I woke up the next morning and it was like, you have 99 plus notifications. And I think I had like 700 comments of like, who's going to tell her she did her math wrong? It's actually this amount. And I was like, this is what's working. Okay, I get it. This is great. And even now, I checked my account right before I came live with you, and I think I had about 7 more comments posted that of like, you do know your math is wrong, right? Like you do know you didn't do that. And like some of the comments that I get, they're not the nicest. And I just go, well, like math is hard sometimes, or, thanks for engaging with the post. Like I really appreciate it. Like you're really just boosting the algorithm. So thank you for that. Even with TikTok's brand new algorithm change. So really just finding what people want to see. I try to do like that edutainment as much as possible. I know Matt talks about that a lot when he does the wake up shows. So just trying to genuinely help people, but also make it a little bit funny, even if you don't mean to make it funny. Sometimes people just engage with that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's some major takeaways there from that, which is that people like to criticize more than they like to compliment in many cases, right? And they like to be right. And we see this a lot with some of the polarization in the bickering back and forth politically, and the bickering back and forth between the V, right? I don't even want to say the word because we could get penalized for it. But um, yeah, all of this really is generated from people criticizing and bickering and arguing and pointing out where people are wrong. And that's exactly what people are doing on that particular video for you.
Yeah.
They're pointing out that you're wrong, right?
Yeah.
And and I think that what is beautiful about what you've done is that you've embraced the idea that you've prepared yourself in a sense, and I think maybe you might not have been ready for it at first, but at this point what I hear is that you're prepared to receive the criticism because you are not taking it on personally. You know, it is literally people typing into their phones. It has nothing to do with you as a person, but what they are doing is contributing to the boosting of your content, and it's helping your actual viewership and bringing more people to your content. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, yeah. So definitely, I was not prepared to receive hate on that first post. I remember my first couple of hate comments that I read. I walked out to my husband. He works out of from our garage, and I walked out and I was like, they were being mean. And he goes, that's just part of the business. Like, that's, you're going to get that posting on social media like that. And
Right.
he's like, it's not you personally, like, take it in stride. Like, what's the benefit that comes from that? And I was like, well, they boosted my post. They commented. So now more people are seeing it. And he goes, there you go. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is crazy. So then, I make it a point to, even on the hate comments that I get on TikTok and Instagram, I reply and I go, some people have said like, oh, this is just a scam, or, oh, you can't do your math right. And I'll be like, what's your reasoning? Like, what's your reasoning for this? Like, why? And I don't engage more than like one or two times. So if somebody, like, I know I can't change their mind, I'm like, oh, okay, so you're just going to be stuck in your ways. That's fine. Um, but if you really want to hear what I have to say, or you want to have like a good conversation, like reach out to me in the DMs. I would love to talk about this further. And then also getting more of that engagement of people coming to my profile when I say, hey, like, let's not argue about this in the comments, or let's not talk about this here. Like, let's go somewhere else and talk about it. And I think about seven out of 10 times I will be able to start changing people's minds of, this is what I'm doing. Sorry, you've been burned before. This is different. Like,
Yeah.
can you just hear my side of it? And so
Yeah.
7 out of 10 times I would say I would get people going like, oh, oh, okay, or, oh, sorry, I was just trying to be funny. And it's like, okay, like, that's fine. Thank
Yeah.
you, but you also have to remember, even though I have learned not to take it personally, there are other people, especially like younger creators or people who are new to like this affiliate marketing or building a business online, who don't have like those resources or that support system yet
Yeah.
of, being able to reach out to somebody and having them be like, okay, hate comments or
Yeah.
hate comments.
Yeah. Well, I would like to prepare everybody listening and everybody in this community to look at that sort of engagement as success, not as failure, not as taking that on personally, and it meaning that that you're not good enough in even believing or giving any credit to people's comments. I would actually like to prepare our community here and all of you listening to receive those, and even to create content and marketing that polarizes people, which means that some people are going to love it and some people are going to hate it. So that's one thing, is actually standing in a position, taking a position, and standing for something. Being on a side, right, is another way to polarize people, because here's the truth: is you're not going to resonate with everybody. It doesn't matter if you're nice and you try to stay in the middle and you try to be somebody who makes everybody happy. You're not going to please everybody. There's always going to be people, no matter what you do, that are going to say, I don't like his voice. I don't like his face. Something rubs me wrong about. There's always, people are always going to have something to say. And I even think that a lot of people talk shit about whoever they're listening to or watching right as they're buying. They're like, I think this guy's an asshole, but I want to know what he knows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we gotta release the addiction to people wanting to like us, to needing people to like us. That's step number one. Step number two is to pick a side of whatever you're talking about. And I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking about this. There's a lot of, I mean, if that's the route that you want to take and you want to talk, there's a lot of like content creators that are, moving towards freedom right now because of everything that's going on politically. And that's fine. But I'm just talking about whatever content you're creating, pick a side. Don't be down the middle, because if you're trying to be down the middle because you don't want to offend people and you're trying to make everybody happy, you will not reach anyone. And here's the third thing is, if your only message is positivity and you're just always Mr. or Mrs. Positive, as much as I think that's cool and as much as I think it's great to have a positive mindset, that is not the news that people love to watch. If it was, then the news stations would all be playing the clips, and the top stories would be how the fireman it rescued the dog out of the sewer. But you know what? As much as it's not what will make people keep watching. People want to know the juice. They naturally, we are gossipers. Naturally, we are rubberneckers. Naturally, we are we can't not watch. We can't resist a train wreck. And so, what sort of juice, what sort of comedy, what sort of even criticism of people can you come up with in your content versus, here's the thing that I see all the time that just fails, and it sucks that it's this way, but it's the guy who's getting up every day, taking the videos and selfies from the gym going, it's time to get up and get moving, right? And rock this day. That stuff's got 5 views and nobody's watching it. And you want to know why? Because it comes off as toxic positivity. It does. That's like the phrase that I would use to describe that. And most people, especially the audience that has money to spend on whatever it is that you're promoting, is not living their life in positivity all the time. We as human beings have an assortment of feelings. And I think the older we get, the more curmudgeon we get. I know that's been the case for me. I used to be everything was happy-go-lucky, positive, and now I'm like an old curmudgeon. I'm like, I'm like the guy who's like, these damn kids. I'm having some work done at my house. They're installing some turf, and then I'm going to have a playground built. And I was like walking my son on the road today, in a stroller, and I went over and I looked at the grass where they're kind of carrying the things up, and I was thinking to myself, before I make the final payment, they better clean this mess up. They've fucked up my grass there by bringing all the old dirt in. I'm like an old curmudgeon. You know what I mean? So, I know that was long-winded, but there was 3 pieces there that I think are important in ending with that sort of, don't be afraid to be critical. Don't be afraid to be negative. Don't be afraid to reveal the curmudgeon-y parts about yourself and your life, and instead of trying to have your appearance be that everything's perfect and you're always happy. What comes up for you as I say that, Amanda?
Actually, a really good example I had recently, shortly after I started posting on TikTok, I had a close family friend reach out, and she was like, some of your videos are kind of sassy. And I was like, okay, like that's who I am. But look, I'm getting some feedback from people, and she's like, you're not gonna be able to retain customers if you're sassy. And I was like, and here I am. And I
Exactly.
sent her the link to this show, and I was like, oh well, I've retained some customers, I would say, even with my sass.
Right.
And she just sent back like, oh, I'm like, I don't need to be everybody's, cup of tea.
Right.
I can't take credit for this quote. I heard it from another creator, but she had said, I would rather people hate me because at least they know me. I'm
Yeah.
more scared of people not knowing who I am.
Yeah.
So that's definitely like,
Liking me for what I'm not, right?
yeah, yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to have to, put on this facade for social media. I don't want to have to, put on a face or a different hat when I show up.
Yeah.
If people were to, see me walking around my neighborhood or walking around town and they were like, hey, and I'd be like, yeah, yep, that's me. Like, I'm the same person in person that I am on social media.
And
Being
tell
my
me if
most genuine self is like the most important thing.
this is true for you. This seems like it's true, but I of course am not a woman, so I want you to validate this. I feel like it's harder for women to show that sass, to show that wit, to show that sort of hair down, trash talking, like just to like be not be ladylike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like guys get a pass to like say whatever we want and talk shit, and that's like deemed okay because he's a dude. But then when women talk like that or sort of show their sass, right? That kind of like who you are when you're around the people you're most comfortable with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you just let your hair down, sweatpants, you're talking shit, and it's just like you're with your husband or you're with your best friend. Like I feel like women don't get that same pass, and it's even more difficult for y'all to kind of really get sassy and kind of have personality. I don't know. Do you feel that that's
Oh yeah.
true? Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I've gotten not only the fact that I can't do math, and then I respond with like the cute little like emoji in some of the
Right,
comments.
right,
So it's
right.
just I'm kind of like tossing some sass out there. But even outside of what I'm doing on here, I get like people aren't gonna like you if you're like that, or you need to change who you are to make this
Right.
isn't ladylike, or women don't talk like that. And it's like, okay. Okay, but then my
Right.
husband and I have very similar personalities, and he's able to just go off, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, he's good." But as soon as
Right.
and
Yeah,
as soon,
real man
yeah,
right there.
they're like, "Yeah, look at him go,"
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
as soon as a woman does it, that's, "Oh, you're being a Karen," or, "Oh, you're doing this or you're doing that," and it's like,
Right, right. I
bro,
know,
can you
I
just
know,
give me
dude.
a minute?
I know, right? Like I feel I like that Karen thing. I got like two sides of my feelings for that because like for real, and I know that's also targeted towards, sort of middle like kind of midwestern white women like in a
Yeah.
sense like and I've seen my mom do that shit before, you know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my God, don't like, and I love my mom.
Right, 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 right.
I love my mom with all my heart, but I get that, and I get the whole where that came from. But in the other sense, it's just another way I feel to criticize women. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To like criticize women for being outspoken because it gets overused and it gets then generalized across like all women. So now it's just another way for us to, if a woman is speaking out or being sassy or right, then we can call her this other name. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so yeah, I think there's a lot of comments, and even even Tony, women shouldn't want to be like men. And you know, this is a hot topic. You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
there's and all the women in there are like, oh yeah, I kicked that shit out the door a long time ago. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I I think even what we're talking about right now is a great idea of a hot button topic that gets opinions, gets engagement. You know,
Yeah.
for me, like it's really interesting because like the ego sort of fantasy side of me, I want to be king and I want, you know, my wife to submit to my orders and I want to walk in and but the other part of me loves when she makes fun of me and treats me, you know what I mean? Like kind of
Yeah.
makes me submit to her a little bit, you know what I mean? And she kind of tells me off and stuff like that. And I think we all sort of have that. And I think when we're watching content on the internet, it's a great place for us to sort of go into and get a lot of those fantasies realized. And I'm not even really talking sexually, right? But
Yeah.
certainly we know that a lot of people get their sexual fantasies realized on the internet. There's no disputing that. But even just watching content and having somebody who we would normally have as a man, right? Want to, you know, like Tony. Women should not want to be like men. And Tony, shout out to you. I'm just using you as an example. But you know, maybe secretly Tony likes to watch content to where women are sort of dominating men. I don't know, Tony. You know what I mean? But it's a what I'm saying is the internet is a place to where we can realize a lot of those sort of fantasies or we can engage in that sort of content because we can put our headphones on and we can kind of have our phone here where nobody and it's just us and the person who's talking on the other side of the phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's exactly you said it perfectly.
yeah. Yeah. So I would encourage particularly all you ladies to do your thing. You know what I mean? Do your thing. Get out there and ruffle some feathers. You know, I think that, you know, when a for me, I've seen women be just as or more successful as men on marketing out there on Instagram and TikTok and so forth. And I'm and without and I'm talking about creating content, not just you know, not just. And I'm not saying women are the only ones who flash body parts. I know all the fitness dudes out there are flashing their six pack. I would do that too, honestly, but nobody wants to see my one pack right now. I still haven't lost my pregnancy weight, you know, from our son who was born 9 months ago. But I'm talking about women who are like really crushing it. Women like yourself, women like Stacy Law in our community, and the many other women who are on the show every day. Women like Jenna Kutcher, she's got a great women like she's got a great Instagram page. Women like Marie Forleo. You know, there's a lot of really successful women, but there's also a ton of room for the ladies to step up and capture audience. And I think you're finding some of the creative ways to kind of do that, and it's really cool to watch. So, what would you say to people who? Well, what would you say to women or men? I mean, I'm just really interested in kind of. I love to see I love to see people. This can be a male dominated sport. You know what I mean? Just like a lot of things. But I love to see women crushing it. And I've been, you know, privileged to be around a lot of really successful and talented women in the last decade in this industry. So, what would you tell the ladies who are maybe you know going through some of the fears or anxieties you did at the beginning and now that you've sort of overcome at this point?
I would definitely say what somebody else says about you doesn't matter. What you believe about yourself matters. So to kind of expand on that, a little. If I was talking to me, early May, late April, I would go, who cares, what you look like when you get on the camera? Who cares how you sound? Who cares about your attitude? You know, if you're being your genuine self and you love who you're seeing and you love, what's being replicated on the camera and going off of, sassy or, type sounds that you can use on TikTok, go for it. And if you receive hate, that's okay, because you know who you are and you know who you want to be, and you are going to crush it harder than anybody else ever has.
Yeah.
So that is what I want to say to anybody, especially women, because we do get a lot of criticism when we come online and we have that sassy attitude, and we don't conform to what everybody wants us to be in these societal norms of you need to look perfect and you need to, like, I do my makeup in my videos because that's what I like to do. I've also posted videos where I've literally just rolled out of bed and I've got baby fingerprints all over my shirts, and I'm just like, yeah, it's fine. Like, as long as I'm happy and as long as whoever, the creator is happy, like, let's just, you can do it. You can crush it. Don't let the haters get to you, man.
Yeah. And somebody said, does Amanda have an IG? And the affiliate mom is both her TikTok and her IG handle. So go give her a follow and stay legendary, Amanda, and come back and give us an update here in a few months. All right.
Oh, I will, for sure. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I don't think any of you guys understand how excited I was when I got when I got invited.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we love to do this. I love to do this, and I wish I could see some of the reactions. I know what you mean by being excited to do these kind of things. When I first got started, I was the member of a month in a community that I was a part of, and I did an interview like this, and you could have swore I was delivering like the State of the Union address or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I was super stoked, So yeah, it'll be like second nature, and you'll be doing this stuff all the time in the near future. So I'm glad we could get you early before your big stardom. All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
All
Dave.
right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell your husband that we said hello as well. All right.
I will, for sure.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
All right, my friends, my family. I hope you guys have a fantastic Friday. Be legendary. If you haven't taken the challenge yet, of course, do that and get into the blueprints if you can. We have our next decade in a day coming up next Friday, and of course our training sessions in group coaching calls for our blueprints community every Thursday. But regardless of where you're at and what sort of membership level you are here in Legendary, you guys know that we do these every Monday through Friday, and it's people, it's men, it's women, it's folks inside of this community who have gone through the training, who are willing to now come back and come on the show and share their experience that makes this show great. And I think so cool, at least for me, from my perspective. I would absolutely get sick of hearing myself talking every day if it was just me. So thank you all. Thank you, Amanda, of course, but all of you who are yet to come on the show, that when we reach out and invite you, you say yes. Thank you in advance for that. I look forward to having as many of you on the show, lifting you up, giving you a platform to share your experience and results with us all, not just me, but this whole community. And if you didn't know, you can also go and grab the transcripts of the show over on legendarymarketer.com. You just hit blog, and each week we put up the video and the transcript of every interview. And if you want, you can also go and grab the you can listen to all of these episodes on podcast. Just go on your favorite podcast platform and type in Wake Up Legendary, and you'll be able to find us. And you can also listen to these throughout the week or weekend, the replays, right there via audio. And most of what we talk about, you can listen to and be able to make it useful by just listening via audio. So we've got those additional resources, plus the entire library of all these Wake Up Legendaries on our Facebook page. So plenty of content, plenty of interviews, plenty of stuff that you can dig into to keep learning. And then eventually, some sooner than others, start earning and blow your business up. All right. And make this year, especially leading into the end of the year and then the beginning of 2022, the best next 12 months of your life. All right. So have a great Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. Get out of here. Make it legendary. Be legendary, my friends. And we'll talk to you on Monday. Peace.